And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we are on the cusp of game number 3 between Rutgers University and Indiana. 1-1 apiece thus far. Neither team has lost a series all year, so this will be a first. Already first for Indiana, dealing with that first loss. Rutgers was able to hand them in game number 1, battled back convincingly in game number 2, and actually dismantled Rutgers' lead they were holding early enough on in, so get to see exactly how this does.
Took out a Karthus pick too.
Yeah.
One of the strongest picks probably in the current new meta.
Yeah, didn't work out for Rutgers.
I mean, sometimes it doesn't, right? Sometimes you gotta bring in the new pick and just it doesn't pan out. Game number 1, game number 2, much the same story, but at least they're trying, right? To say that they've got the new picks, they've got the new strats, it's great to see. And I think it's gonna be useful no matter what. It's just a matter of seeing exactly when the tipping point comes. Will it be good enough, or Dark Harvest gets nerfed enough that they're not looking at these champs?
Well, with that, Aatrox, I think still the most important ban coming through, the best adaptation, because they gave it over and were promptly punished for it. Rem not going to get to play it, but now King Jeebus, that Zillion, must have had an impact of frustration on the likes of Indiana. Rutgers, they don't want to see that one again. Jeebus was able to make some plays with it. Maybe they feel that's the only discerning factor between these two teams. Well, Lucian off the table as well. They were that Cokes would play it. It was actually Dire Bump that played the great Lucian last game, but not going to be on the docket. So we'll see what they do come away with here, because there's a lot been prioritized, left open, and picked. We still have the Urgot in the top lane, and yeah, it looks like Andes doesn't want to give that one over. We'll take that because they know King Jeebus could make a strong run with it. They say we'll rather just see this in the top lane. Wouldn't be surprised if Speedy Lion wants to just stick with that Scion here. And you know, it worked well enough for him last time. But the Jax, a ban from last series, is left open, and we'll see whether or not that is their first pick. Will they go for it?
I mean, if they do, they're gonna need to show us something special, right? This isn't just your average, you know, oh, gone for it. You're gonna need to beat out an Urgot. That's a hard ask, right? Hard sell. The Urgot champ, as just a champion, is so hard to, right? You not only have to be confident playing well, you have to also be a champ that's strong enough that can, you know, 1 versus 1 Urgot. How many of those are there that can actually 1 versus 1 Urgot?
Not too many.
And win consistently, right? It's a list of like 2. You got percent health champs.
Right.
Vayne does very well. Sometimes the Kog'Maw can kill him fast enough. Beyond that, though, that's about it.
Well, look at this. The Sivir locked in early, likely for Dire Bump there, and they actually hovered for a little while. The Xayah was banned away from them several times, but gonna opt for the Kaisa instead. This time Talia as well, locked in best Kennen and A. Gonna be taking that one to the jungle. And the Thresh, it's been back and forth. Thresh, you know, hasn't won a game yet, right? Red side also has not won a game yet, so cursed red side Thresh perhaps would not bode well here. But Morgana off the table, they don't want to deal with that counter. Wouldn't be surprised to see Sweaty Toast just go back to the Braum in this case. That might be a target ban that they want to bring in on the side of Indiana here. But meanwhile, the Lissandra off the table. Rem played it last game, didn't work the way he wanted it to, didn't get ahead in all the ways that he thought he might. So this time, he says, I don't want to see it out of King Jeebus. King Jeebus, it'll be the 3rd unique mid laner he'll have played then, because it was Urgot to start, Zillion in the second one. He's off to something new, and we know it's not Lissandra. The Braum ban, something we just discussed. We'll see.
I mean,
I would like it a lot more if your pick were something like Alistar and not Thresh, right? Because there's still the Leona, there's still the Alistar to fall back on here for Sweaty Toast. And this isn't the biggest gut punch to be delivered, but keep in mind, they used both bans previously on ADs in the second round of the phase. So here, there's the support. I get it. Why not target the solo laner instead? Why not try to make life a little bit harder for Rem?
Because the solo lanes are already always picked, you know? So let's say you target Rem. He's got such a champion pool that when you target him, you're wasting ban, right? Even if you remove things that he's good at, he's still got so many champs he can play well that there's no point in shutting him down when you have people with very limited pool, or perceived as limited, right? The AD pool is very, very thin. The support pool, not much bigger as well. So you target pools that are harder to actually find viable champions for, rather than the players, and that's what they're going for. They're trying to target the pool that's harder to pick a champ for, but they've left up Alistair, and the new combo is here.
Alistair, somebody who's been kind of perennially strong throughout this entire season, at least as long as you and I have been casting CLoL preseason. So now, with this combo in mind, we'll see if they can really execute on that to the fullest of its abilities. Even if not, Kai'Sa Alistair, that's a tough lane to deal with, even for Sivir Thresh. And now we'll see exactly what this mid laner for Rem is going to end up being. Unless they pick, a top laner and flex Urgot into the mid there. Well, they're going to keep them guessing. Yeah, yep. Irelia. You could go either way with either one of these two, so they want to see.
I think Irelia is better mid, but...
okay, if they're blocking Galio too, that's almost certainly going to be the Irelia mid. So, we'll see how they do want to proceed with this particular one. Wouldn't be surprised to see this Galio be the lock in there for King Jeebus. And then the question mark, okay, well, is it Rem or is it Andez that gets Urgot and Irelia? How they swap that one out and about. But yeah, Irelia mid, you made the right call there. Seems to be what they want to go with for these two teams. And that'll be their chance to really, I think iron out some of the difficulties they've had taking over a game. Right? It's been these back and forths that have eventually it just teeters too far over to one side and it's full collapse like a Jenga tower. This time, you got the Irelia on your squad. You got Talia and Kai'Sa as well over on the side of Rutgers. That's a squad that can really take over a game. Same can definitely be said for Daedric on Jax, for King Jeebus on Galio, and Dire Bump Sivir. Just, it's going to come down to the way that this does pan out.
The Sivir's fine, but this composition, it just screams out that you want a hyper carry, and you have a Sivir. Maybe she's enough of a hyper carry, maybe she's not, right? If you find yourself in a position where you need more, if you need, something a little bit stronger in lane, if you need any kind of CC, it's going to be hard. So, in that sense, there's obviously better champs. Vayne, there's obviously, the Xayah, right? The Kog'Maw, all super hyper carry champion. But we have what we have, and the game will go on without us.
They're ready to get it. Ready to make it happen. Rutgers back on the blue side. Blue undefeated thus far on the night. Red yet to have a win. Thresh yet to have a win. So we'll see if these patterns do hold, as it all does come down to this last and final game. If you are just joining us, Rutgers taking game number 1 in a convincing last half of the game anyway, once they mounted the comeback. The first half a little rocky to the start. Well, same could be said this time for the way Indiana wins game number 2. So it's all going to come down to this last little bit of play. We've been seeing roughly 30-minute games on the day thus far, 38 that last one, so just north each time. So these next 30 minutes or so, this next potential half hour, the deciding fate between these two. Maybe it's faster, maybe it's slower, but
maybe it's a lot slower, right? Maybe it's a 60-minute game. Maybe we go back to season 2.
Ooh, boy, there's no Anivia here.
Maybe that's the case.
Either way, as long as this game takes both teams determined to continue their perfect seasons. There are blemishes within series, especially for Rutgers. This one would be the first 2-1 series that Indiana would have experienced. Or, for that matter, the first 1-2 series if they do lose it here at the end of the day. They've got the momentum coming into this one, but it's a sort of nominal momentum when you consider the way that game was from behind so much. And I don't think Rutgers are too afraid of that. I like to see Yama back on this Thresh. He had explosive play that first game. His hooks were so good. Weren't able to convert it into a win, but a lot better than he played on the Braum. And now This will be the first time Braum not making an appearance in this series. Sweaty Toast on this Alistair. You get the idea that this may be his, third pick support, if not even further down. So we'll see what he can make happen out of this particular one. There's a nice hook land. They'll get the Flay back just to get about half HP down. The level up will bring it north of that yet again, but good use of the first level 2 to get the harass down. Yeah. Bad news is Yama's, taken about as much of a beating just from passive minions thus far, so how much of a win can you really call that for yourself?
I don't know. I don't actually know how much of a win you can call that when in reality it's hard to kind of ration, right? It's it's a 50-50, as we like to say, 50-50. That's about it. But as it stands, pretty even lanes so far. I think the Urgot's going to have a slight advantage. Obviously, the Aurelia is fantastic. I think this is great into the Galio. It does great. It has a just very easy time dealing with the magic shield and the tankiness of the Galio. Mobility helps it dodge his taunts, and at the very least, it means that the Irelia will be almost impossible to kill in the middle lane, even if she doesn't get any kills herself.
That could be the big takeaway here, because, Jax is one of those champions that you can hard farm with, but ganks are just his heart and soul when it comes to this jungler, right? And so the more time that you can waste of someone like a Jax in that mid lane, the better off you are. And he's not going to want to gank against the Alistair as much. That's a tougher one. Even if you jump in, you can just get headbutted right back out unless you were timing your stun to a perfect T. And in the top lane, well...
Let's say you even do time it to a T. Oop. Close.
Nothing too big here. 10 CS lead already for Rem. Pretty big pickups. Now, whatever coach can try to pull in. Spell Shield, just good at deny. Any risk there, as they're not too concerned with what may come out of that one. Andez burning a lot of mana, but keeping Speedy Lion on his toes. And meanwhile, Best Cannon NA tries from the back, doesn't find it, and Hook just on the edge. Not going to connect.
Yeah, if he had gotten that, it would have been fantastic for them. But, missing it, it happened. What I gotta say, though, is so far, it's just... It's been a lot of very back and forth. I guess we expected that to a point. But to see the junglers so non-interactive, I think is kind of surprising, right? We saw one early Taliyah gank. That's been it. Jax is hard farming. He's looking for that late game. He's looking for the split push. Trying to be the carry that his team needs if they can actually win.
Well, with that, he's got a nice little bit of CS lead over Best Cannon NA in that jungle. He's going for the more aggressive build style as well. We'll see if he can convert this. So that is all fine in theory, but execution is the big one. But Best Cannon NA, the first one to the race. The stun is up onto Yama. The hook not going to be able to connect under tower. And Rutgers find themselves on a nice end of a first blood yet again. Early lead off into the hands of Rutgers here, and now Best Cannon NA. He looks like he's not done with this. Wants to find a little bit more. Has to be careful because, yeah, there's Daedric denied.
Oh, yeah.
Says, sorry, sucker. Hit the road. I love it. I love it.
That was quite interesting.
He saw that one coming a mile away, too, is what I love about that one.
Yeah, you see it and you're like, you hate to...
Hey, y'all, watch this. Beautiful. Love it.
Y'all ready for this?
Space jamming it out. That's going to be a frustrating composition, not just because Taliyah can do that. That's something I'd actually not consider before just seeing it happen right there.
Double stun.
Yeah, not going to be enough. The teleport coming down is going to scare him right off. The Ignite was there, too. And this is troublesome. Disarmed. Well, Jax, he has to have a weapon here. The Suppress, it's going to find it. And Andez gets the kill. He looks like he doesn't want to slow down, even under tower. I think this is where you cut your losses, or take your wins, and
or not
happily leave. No, there's no way, especially with Sion coming in. Best Cannon NA is there to body block. Rem gonna get ignited. That one, Speedy Lion does find it. Good play by Yama to come in and salvage what was a terrible situation for Indiana. King Jeebus
If
getting
they
out.
lost both of their players, right? If they lose the Galio too, it doesn't matter what they do. They're not going to get there in time. The fact that he didn't die meant that the Aurelia stuck around just long enough for them to come in and get the kill, which is fantastic work by both of their side lanes, come up in just enough time to make that happen. That being said, right, it's still a slight kill lead. It's still an advantage towards Rutgers, but Indiana aren't done yet. You know, they've got their game plan, they've got their scaling composition, they've got a chance to win this all back. They just have to put time into it. They've got to get the Jacks farmed up. They've got to get more picks like this.
Yeah, this is the right kind of pick. Andes, usually going to be a pretty hard one to kill in that top lane, but there's just nothing he can do to get out of that one. Got caught.
Jax?
Just running into...
What does Urgot do to Jax, right? That's the real problem. Even if you flip him over you, his jump is up faster than your jump. So, after you flip him, he's going to have about 3 seconds after his jump, in which he's recharging his jump, and can't use yours. So, then he gets back onto your face, true damage is ticking from the ignite, from the smite, the red smite specifically, and so, it's just basically all going in his favor at that point.
And more. Jax can build up the better uphill B. Yama, a rare wide hook. You've been hitting them relatively consistently in that first game. This time, had a little bit more trouble in that one. Just a clean miss. Not even dodge.
Mostly because he couldn't really see them. But, you know, being blind shouldn't be an impairment to a player of his skill. That's what I really
blind,
right?
.jpg. Meanwhile, bot lane, neither been able to separate themselves just well enough yet. Cokes has that one kill. It's going to be giving him the gold lead, but, you know, opting for the double longsword against the BF means Sivir, especially if Yama lands the right hook, should just be in a position to really still beat up on this lane. And if we're going to offer any criticism to Rutgers thus far, it's that we've not really seen the in-your-face support play that you might want out of Alistair, right? Sweaty Toast has just kind of been, I hesitate to say going through the motions in this bot lane, but he's just kind of there. He's threatening the combo, but that's about it. There's none of the extra kind of sprinkles on top that you would want out of the support coming his way. And granted, you know, this is potentially his third or fourth support pick. Thresh was taken away. The Braum was taken away. You know, not going to be able to play either of those. And then Morgana as well off the table, something they continue to ban. So,
I mean, you got to be able to play more than 3 supports, especially at this level, right? He definitely has the capability to play these. I think it's more that they probably aren't very willing to commit because the Kai'Sa doesn't win that fight yet. Thresh still does an immense amount of damage, and the Sivir will be able to respond with enough damage that it's not worth taking the trade, right? That's the real worry. The Alistair doesn't actually do that much DPS, and so if you were to go in where not enough damage has been done, take the fight, you lose it, then the lane is gone. Whereas if you don't take the fight, you can't actually lose the lane. The most you can do is lose a slight CS lead.
CS. The most measurable metric of inches when you talk about League of Legends being a game of inches, these small little suckers account for so much of the game and really starts to add up, especially take a look at places like this mid lane where Irelia is up a whole hell of a lot of CS to her opponent, about 40, 35, depending on the position of this wave, and we'll just continue to stack out more and more there as this game does go on. Yeah, I mean, that shows no signs of slowing down, right? Rem is just, when he got ahead, especially on that Aatrox in that first game, he just didn't give that up at any point. Even when his team was behind, Rem was not. This, you know, could be the makings of the same situation here on this Irelia. I like the pickup a lot better than whatever we saw on Lissandra in that second game. And here's Sweaty Toast going in. He's going to try to get the combo. Cokes gets the kill onto Dire Bump, and the AD of Indiana is taken out and away, put down out to pasture. And that's a big pickup there. The second kill now in favor of Cokes. They've still got a good amount of time on this turret plating too, so they'll all get themselves a nice little bit of extra gold to line their pockets here. I don't think Daedric can hold this one up, even if they wanted to lantern him in. I don't see a situation in which they come away with too much on that. Pings on the dragon now. That's going to be the shifted focus, and we'll see if they can make it happen. Nice way to pop the blast code. Ooh.
Yeah, blast cone. Ooh.
They sniffed
Catch
that one right out in the way. Why walk back for the lantern? He wants to find it, but really risky play, and actually had to force his own flash to get to that lantern in time. So, King Jeebus, not your best moment there. This is an Infernal Drake. It's important to everyone. Keep in mind, Speedy Lion has roamed down, and Andes is currently using that Ignite in the top lane. Not going to be able to teleport to get here in time. So this fight will favor Indiana if it comes through in earnest. And it's a tricky one. Looks like they have that one pretty much no contest. Yeah, beautiful play.
Yeah, the dragon. I mean, the fact is, even if they tried to contest, right? Why would they? They're down 4 versus 5. The Urgot's still on the top side of the map. He doesn't have teleport. He doesn't have a way to get down. They're just comfortable saying, okay, that's fine. We're going to let you have the dragon. It's an Infernal. Looks bad, but I think they're very confident about it. Have Irelia, such a strong champion, scaling into the later parts of the game, that they're not super worried.
Daedric.
Ooh, what a flash.
Not your best flash there. Daedric wanted to come in for it. Rem flashing out. Was ready on time for that one to make it happen the way it needed to. And it's a 2k gold lead already. Turret plating is about to fall down, so Rem would love to knock a little bit more off this, but not going to get the chance. You just can't threaten the Jack's under tower like that because his combo, it'll punish you pretty severely there. The phase, the Tiamat, it's just too easy to accidentally draw that tower aggro and find yourself on the wrong end of, you know, the turret laser while stunned up. So 14 minutes. Turret plating is gone here. No towers have fallen yet. And just like that, it's really only in the objective game, the Infernal Drake, that's favoring the side of Indiana right now. Gold, mostly due to CS, but also a 1 kill advantage. Very much in the hands of Rutgers here. As we're knocking on the door of about 15 minutes. This is usually the point in these two games thus far where we've seen that sort of pendulum swing start to initiate.
Yeah.
We'll see whether
it really
or not
does
it falls
start
here.
to. It's always a sharp swing in the Rutgers direction too, right? They're so good at finding these minute openings and knowing their strength, right? Playing to their mid-game compositions, knowing exactly how much damage they do at around 15 to 18 minutes into the game, and just winning off, right? That's where their real strength is lined so far, and it's a sign of them reading the meta incredibly well. Knowing that they can take and win games this early in, and focusing on it, is a sign of a team that not only has practiced the meta, but is extremely comfortable.
Yeah, you can see that comfort just shining through in all the small things of their play here, too. It's great to show that while they're comfortable, they're not cocky about it, right? You've seen a couple foolish mistakes get punished, namely just Andes in that top lane getting caught out, getting the kill over to Daedric, as well as the overstay there in the mid lane that allowed Yama to come up, ignite, I believe it was Rem, and then just get that kill out and about. But besides those oversights, it's not been really any drastic amount of BM or Callan's play that's been able to be punished on the side of Rutgers. And they have been punished for, I think, the two glaring mistakes that they did make. And they've seemed to kind of shore those up since. So they're committed to a slower play style. They know Irelia's just going to get further and further and further ahead in farm. This is where Daedric, you know he's lurking off in the wings, needs to find something. Best cannon in A, meanwhile, wants to find it in the bot lane, but just not there. The hook only finding
Hook
a
misses
minion.
as well.
Yeah, Yama there. No flash. Had to get rid of that one to just stay alive. So best cannon in A, he can call that one a win for himself. Here. He's on a collision course with the Jacks, but
I'm ultimate.
Yeah.
Oh, but it got the wrong way.
this
No
means
chance to finish that kill.
yeah, King Jeebus there. Actually, look at this. The fight's
Big
breaking out in
catch.
earnest around this Dragon Pit, and that's going to be Galio coming in. Andes is there as well. The shutdown's already on to Cokes, and this could be the big fight that Indiana need to get back in, but here's Irelia. Great Weaver's Wall to separate them. Actually, no, bad. I just realized it was, yeah, not good. Andes trying to get in. Speedy Line is down. Best cannon in A and Andes on the run now. Rem and Sweaty Toast also fell. So I call that a great Weaver's Wall because I thought it was on the side of Indiana to split the team well. It was a terrible Weaver's Wall for Rutgers. Used it themselves, and it only came to bite them. So Cokes here will finally respawn.
It did stop at least Indiana from engaging for a little. So in that sense, it was a pretty good Weaver's Wall. Because what it is, it said, okay, if you're going to come in and you're going to do what you're going to do, go through the wall, right? Dash through it, commit your flash, that's how you're going to get in. So in that sense, I do like the Weaver's Wall because it stalled them from rushing the rest of the team and gave the Urgot enough time to get them low, to get the fear off, to get the execute. So in that sense, still relatively good.
Whew. A lot of pieces to pick up from this one. If you're both teams now, you know you got to be relatively still a little behind in gold. If you're Indiana right now, just looking at these CS differentials, there's no way that you can reasonably say that even that kill is going to make the difference. When you look at about the 20 separating them, it's about 17 in the top lane. And then, you know, the vast difference obviously being this mid lane. It's a 50 CS advantage here. But you know, okay, you've got this Infernal Drake. Here's a second one on the docket. You have the ability to win fights, especially a lot of these cooldowns still going to be troubling the likes of Rutgers from last time. If you can take this, that's a big pickup. They don't want to just give it over for free, but Rutgers have the priority around it. Instead, they feel like they would rather catch this bot lane. They have to turn it around. They can't decide, and the fight's breaking out, and this is where it's trouble. They're going to get caught up. That's going to be Daedric going very low. Sweaty Toast trying to do what he can. Rem gets the kill onto that one. Speedy Lions down as well. Best Kenny Nene has that one. Dire Bump healthy on the back line, but for how long? The rest of your team so punished for it, and Rem going to force the flash out of that one. This Irelia is now online. They trade their support, but they get 4, and they're going to get the dragon off of this one. Rutgers squarely in the lead at this point.
Did we mention the Rutgers turn at around, say, 18-ish minutes?
Yeah.
We mentioned how well they know this game, and they use the spikes. It happened again, right? The Aurelia, 1.5 item spike. The Urgot, 1.5 item spike. The Kai'Sa, 1.5 item spike. The Talia, 1.5 item spike. I mean, it's perfect. They have all the champs in the world that spike at the exact same time. Sure, the Talia might prefer a couple more items, but she still does fantastically on what she has. And that's the real kicker, right? It's not that you need more items. It's that this is a perfect time for you to fight because you're at one of your strongest points as a team, and they aren't.
Definitely displaying great knowledge of a way to play to their strengths here. This Rutgers team has shown why, even when they've lost some games, they've yet to lose a series. They're coming out with phenomenal play to keep themselves alive in here. The adaptation is on level with some of the better League of Legends teams we see throughout here. And so now the Baron is live. No Rift Herald taken away for the first time in this series. It was instrumental in both of the first games. This time, not going to be the case. Sweaty Toast. Look at that. He was actually running in, trying to get in on the Speedy Lion. They showed a lot of what they were attempting to do with that play, and it allowed Cokes a chance to turn around and try to stay on the back line. So Sweaty Toast, you know, he's going to get popped right out of that toaster, but they could have had more. Either way, it's going to be a big pickup for the Jax. That's his second kill of the round, and that's going to be the big storyline to follow here as he's just getting himself farmed up a little bit better in this game, and you know, he's responsible for so much of the way that this game has to go now. Top lane tower, that's going to be a big pickup as well. The first one on the board for Indiana and mitigating some of their losses, but the split push in full effect. Andez going to try to make him pay for it. I don't know if he gets this tower here as Speedy Lion is right on the door, but this thing is essentially dead to rights.
Yeah, I mean, there's really no way to actually stop that, right? What are you supposed to do? Are you supposed to say, okay, you know, we just go in, we take a fight, right? The Jax has been stymied, he's been stopped, he's been CC'd. This has not been his game, and it looks to continue that way, right? The reason that's been so hard for him to do anything is because of the coordination with this Rutger team has had to basically throughout this entire game, right? They just continuously go as a team. They have Aurelia ults layered on top of Urgot CC and Lissandra. Sorry, keep calling her Lissandra. It's one of my big champion mix-ups for some reason. I just think I look at Talia and I think, yeah, that's Lissandra. Yeah, that's the same champ. Probably isn't, you know?
No.
What do I know?
Yeah,
right?
some designers at Riot would probably correct you on that, but
I mean, I don't know if Riot would correct me on that. I know there's some people who have played the game that would correct me on that, but, you know, depending on everything, right? Still a very close game overall, but starting to lean to be Rutgers' favorite. the way that they're playing this is now actually securely in their hands. They've gotten some great fights. They've controlled the Jax. They've nullified the Sion and the frontline advantage of Galio. And it's been working out perfect. If they can continue to do this, the game is all but over. But that being said, if they mess up, the Jax is right there to punish them.
And punish them he shall. He's not had the best start to this game, but just surviving on through and making those smart picks when and where he can has kept him very relevant, now to the point where he's got this Triforce and can contend with most. I mean, this is a Jax that you would not want to be caught up against, especially as a supplemental force in just any form of gank. I don't think he could 1v1 most of the members of this team of Rutgers right now, but when it comes down to the chase, when it comes down to, you know, Sion or Galio or Sivir being after you as well, that Jax can and will make the difference. I'm certain of it. But either way, this Baron seems to be the focus, shifting into the scope for Rutgers here. They're starting to prime out their vision. The battle back and forth. This could actually be a big pickup on Yama. They know it's Sweaty Toast. Flashes over the wall and forces Yama's flash out of that one as well. But the On the Hunt is popped for it. That's going to be actually, I'm sure, a net win for Sweaty Toast here. He's going to be happy to take away the support flash and the On the Hunt, which is arguably the bigger of those two in this instance. Andes with the teleport, going to back for the refresh, but this should be, you know, the ability to start Baron if they wanted to out of Rutgers. We'll see if they actually fully commit. The best thing going for them right now is the vision. They don't know exactly how far along it is on the side of Indiana, and that's the key factor here. But they do back off Rutgers. They don't want to deal with it. They're just going to wash their hands and move on.
I think that that's actually a very interesting point, right? They're continuously taking small advantages and then rinsing, and then they repeat, and then they rinse, and then they repeat, right? Eventually, those small advantages all matter, and eventually, Indiana's going to have to pull the trigger, right? They're going to have to engage. They're going to have to put a stop to all of the farming and all of the focus on neutral objectives that Rutgers has been placing. So far, though, they're just not willing to do it, right? If they commit here, they might lose the game. But you can't be scared to lose the game. You have to be dictating the game's pace. You have to be willing to win the game. That, so far, might be the mental block that Indiana have fallen.
It is where things get tricky because, you know, mental fortitude is something so important in this game, League of Legends, in these best-of-3 series. Here in the playoffs especially, Indiana not used to losing. They're down a game. They know the pressure of this situation. Now, they won game number 2, and they won it well. The Rutgers likely in a better position to hold on to that lead this time, because what was that lead taken away from? Well, it was these group fights that Indiana were able to pull off that clawed the lead back from Rutgers. Indiana now not in as great of a position to group and fight. Sure, they do have a nasty composition for the team fight when you look at it on paper, right? Sion, Jax, Galio, Sivir, Thresh. You're kidding me? That, good lord, that team fight in theory is insane, but not when you look at who they have to fight against, right? Okay, you've got a 3-1 Kaisa. You've got a 2-4 Irelia here. You have the Talia 1-0-6, and Andes stacking out that tank as well as the Alistair. It's just a tall order to find yourself that ideal 5v5. So this is where Rutgers had a little bit more advantage than last time on the scene. 4K gold lead too, one of the most dramatic gold leads we've seen at this point in the game before it's kind of so tilted back in the favor of you know, the obvious eventual winner.
Yeah.
So this Baron could be the big takeaway. This could be the conduit that Rutgers need to really lock this game in for themselves. That or the fight, but it's got to be one or the other, and I expect it'll be soon. Oh, the pick, Daedric.
Good catch.
Yeah, the lantern is there to get him out. Well played, Yama.
I think the really hard part, right? Even though they're finding themselves in bad positions, they're getting bailed out. And maybe that's just a measure of how good Rutgers have really become in the last game or so. How much they've turned on.
Ooh, speaking of turned on, Rem's trying to turn on this one, but they get him in time. And that's going to be a huge pickup. The ideal star player right now.
Teleport behind.
This could be big. They want to get in onto Andes. They want to find more. That's going to be the taunt. King Can he get a little bit more out of this one? The answer is no. Cokes finds that one, and they want to keep on pouring down now. This is going to be another pickup. It's likely going to be Speedy Lion going down. He can't get to the Lantern in time. And they just shovel him right on out. The hook will land. It's going to, knock up Ondes there. Speedy Lion will get a little bit of the damage bop on him, but not enough to really make or break anything here. And they trade 1 for 2 after losing their biggest damage threat, the mid laner that's 100 CS up.
Yeah.
100. You read that right.
I mean, that's really how strong this Rutgers team has become. They've got the Talia, they've got the Kaisa, they have the Urgot, and they have the Aurelia. That's 4 damage threats to boot. There's no way you're out damaging them with a team focusing on Jax and Sivir. It just doesn't happen. Sivir needs to be 6 items before you can even consider out damaging them, and even then, you're going to be severely outclassed. Pun intended. So what they need to do is they need to find something that's not a straight up 5v5. Catch them off guard. Use the Sivir ult as a rush. Take the Jax. Flip push him. Anything but a 5v5 straight up fight that they've been doing for the last couple times.
Ooh. It's tricky too, because they felt like they probably had that when they picked up Rem there. And just the commitment from Rutgers to say, okay, we don't care that we've lost Rem. We're going to go in for this anyway and try to lock it down was the big one. Now, this is bad news for Daedric here. Look at the collapse that's happening in on him. He's going to try to ward hop out of that. The Blast Cone as well. That's going to be his only chance to get out of that one. But meanwhile, here is Cokes. They're going to have an exact vision of him. The Lantern, the Flash. Wow. Good play to get out, but you don't want to have to waste those flashes. That's 2 flashes. Daedric's down. Yama's down. That's the On the Hunt popped as well just to stay out safely. Baroned up Rutgers. This should be where they can really put the pressure on. There's nothing that Indiana have to be able to prevent these towers from going down now. They needed that flash on Jax, the flash on Thresh, the flash on Sivir to aggressively defend their base. Or to stay alive when things start going wrong. But now, these minions are here. Rutgers ready to collect on this one. They knock it back. That's going to be the first one. Speedy Lion does go down. Best Cannon in A is going to have that one. The box is there. Galio trying to find one, but it's only going to be Rem that gets knocked up. He's happy to sit on the back line and trade his life for this. If he even trades his life for this. Still staying alive. The tower's down. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Rutgers have done it. They not only snap the undefeated streak of Indiana in games, they hand it to them in the series as well as with these death timers, with these health bars. There's just no way Rutgers doesn't finish it right here.
I mean, this is going to be it. The game is over. The series will be ended. And this is the first of many victories to come. You see it right here, right now. Rutgers takes it 2-1 over Indiana, going up undefeated and isn't that all important quarterfinal? Actually, semifinal spot.
No, they will move. This was round of 16, so they move to the top 8 quarterfinals. Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Quarterfinal spot. I was right the first time. Never second guess yourselves.
Now, that's another good strategy in League of Legends is usually your first instinct is the right one, and even if it's not, 5 people on a bad call.
I don't know about League of
than...
Legends.
What?
I don't know about League of Legends.
No.
I've met a lot of players who do a lot of really questionable things when they don't think. So what I would say is your first thought is probably what you go with. Don't just go like
we can refine.
Keyboard key.
Sure. Right. Okay. Yeah.
If you do just that, it's not going to go out very well.
Well, either way, speaking of not going out very well, Indiana's season does end here, unfortunately, in the round of 16, 2-0 all the way through. We're going to pull back up, that
all-important
standings that they had going in through to this, because, again, there were some good teams that they did beat, and it showed no struggles against Northern Arizona or Lee. We talked about Carleton University as somebody that we saw a great, showing out of. They 2-0'd them like it wasn't even a problem. We heard that interview. You can find that actually in our second channel in the videos if you want to go back and find the interview with Carleton's coach where he talks a little bit more about that and puts some respect on this Indiana roster. So for Rutgers to be able to come in there and win, I mean, this is a big pickup for these guys. They're in the top 8. They're moving right along and getting very close now. So we're going to be keeping an eye on this team as it does move further. But with that, we are going to be wrapping up the night and the week, as it is Wednesday. Means we'll have a little bit more League of Legends action coming your way Monday. It'll be December by the time that we're back here on on some league action. Where has the year gone? Well, we at C-Star League have had the best time thus far, and as the season does get into those twilight hours, at least for the CLoL preseason, we have some more JV to come. But we want to thank you for sticking with us and watching as regularly as you do. My name is Kyle Corvus. I've been joined by Jeff Zeta Schnurr. Want to, of course, congratulate Rutgers University. Hope that they have the best time celebrating here with Coach Rengar, Mr. Oreo here, the unofficial mascot. Going to be very proud of his team, so hopefully we wish them the best of luck in the rest of the season. But that will be it for us tonight. We are signing off, and we'll see you next time.
Cause we won't be back again. Say goodbye.